This is our Dino 101 bingo board for the day. You guys know how this works. Grace could not join us today, so all bingos go to Christina, as well as all questions. You know how it works. Christina's on the 1s and 2s. All right. The 1, yeah, that's a 1. This is a 2. So this is our bingo board of the day. But our dino of the day is a very specific type of terror bird. Good luck trying to pronounce this, because it took me a very long time to get this down right. This is Phorusrhacos. 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 All right, Rob. All right. Maybe. Phorusrhacos. So this is obviously 3 of them in New York City trying to hitch a cab, I believe. So this is Phorusrhacos. This is our dino of the day. Here's another image of one of them standing and the one of them attempting to run. Largest flightless, some of the largest flightless birds of all time. Again, very large. They're not messing around at all. So this is our dino of the day, Phorusrhacos. I'm excited to see your paleo art interpretations of it. You guys have already started to draw them. Let's see, I'm gonna share my screen here. We saw, every time I see this name, I have to look down at the pronunciation, Phorusrhacos. So this is Phorusrhacos. This is probably the most famous of the terror birds. And the reason being is because the whole group is called Phorusrhacids or Phorusrhacids, Phorusrhacids, Phorusrhacids. I don't even know. AKA they're known as terror birds, and they have that nickname A because, well, look at them, and B because probably no one can actually pronounce the actual name, which is fair. So you're looking at 2 of the largest ever. I don't know why they need to be next to a guy as an army dude who even knows. Michael's into it. But I guess you, Michael's got an army background where he's, oh, wow. Maybe this is a mock-up from, I'm going to unmute you, Michael. What is that from?
It's this B movie I found out about from 2016 called Terror Birds. Okay. It's basically Jurassic Park with terror birds. It's like the really bad B movie you might see on sci-fi or something.
I like that. Maybe that was the inspiration for this. Phorusrhacids. No, it's getting better every time I say it. So we should keep in mind that, first of all, as far as terror birds go, they are extinct. The closest known relative to terror birds we're going to get to in a second, but it wasn't like they were all giant like this. So here's kind of a different smattering of different types of terror birds, different sizes. So they ranged from the size of like, I guess like a large pigeon almost, like house cat size, all the way up to some of the largest flightless birds or the largest birds period to have ever existed. So a couple other cool things about these guys is they didn't exist at the time of non-avian dinosaurs. So terror birds, as far as we know, evolved starting around about 62 million years ago. So they lived from about 62 million years ago all the way up until about 12,000 years ago. So near the last ice age. So human beings and terror birds absolutely coexisted living on this planet at the same time, which is even more terrifying. These guys are obviously incredibly scary because look at the size of them and look at their beaks. Now, when I read that they evolved about 62 million years ago, my first thought was like, that's pretty interesting because if you guys remember, all non-avian, non-flying dinosaurs, non-bird dinosaurs went extinct about 65 million years ago. So only shortly thereafter did terror birds start to evolve into these crazy shapes and sizes that we see now. And so in my mind, when we think about evolution, we think about animals adapting and evolving to be best fit for their environment, to be able to get more food, to be able to reproduce. Clearly, there was a space in many of these environments that didn't have giant megafauna anymore, right? There aren't big dinosaurs walking around. So terror birds took advantage of being able to be the largest, obviously the scariest things in their environments. And I think had the dinosaurs, the non-avian dinosaurs not gone extinct, I highly doubt terror birds would have been able to evolve in the way that we see them today. There just wouldn't have been, we call them like an ecological niche. There wouldn't have been a place for them in the environment because those spots were already taken by other relatively large carnivores like Deinonychus, and other, well, predatory carnivorous dinos. Christina, are they back?
I don't see them.
Wow, really messing up today, Sash. Did this whole thing just so we could get my nephew on, and my sister's dropping the ball per usual, and she wonders why I'm the favorite child. Anyway, moving on. Another cool thing about the terror birds is because they were all these different shapes and sizes, they probably employed very different hunting strategies. So like if you're a littler one, or maybe even a medium-sized one, it stands to reason they were running around relatively fast, we think they maybe could have ran up to like 30 miles per hour or so. And so for the medium to small size ones, maybe they're catching small prey, like little mammals like this, somebody reaching down and grabbing it. Or a crazy, even scarier theory is if you look at those beaks, they have that little hook on the front, almost like an eagle. One theory is that they would just stab that down through the skull of its prey into its brain case, which again, a terrifying way to go out. So that may work for slightly smaller prey. But we also, if you guys look at the legs, like let's look at like A and B, the bigger ones, those are incredibly strong, powerful legs. A lot of people think that maybe one of the ways they hunted larger prey is to use those to kick. So you can imagine like almost like you may have seen an emu or cassowary try to kick someone the same way. Those are giant, powerful theropod feet. You run up on something, huge kick, knock it over, and then you can use that crazy, terrifying beak to put an end to this, what looks like an Eocene horse of some variety. Now, the only living relative, the closest living relative, you guys may have heard of the Serema or Seriema. I can never pronounce this quite right. Am I saying that right? Anyone know how to pronounce that? Seriema, Serema. It's like S-E-R-I-E-M-A. Close enough. This is the closest living relative. And if you look at all the different ones, the Seriema is about the size of E, like the smallest one. So pretty tiny. Now, I thought I would spotlight four. That's four. This is five. Four of my absolute favorite terror birds today. She's back. Sasha, say a word.
Hi.
Yeah, she did it. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right, here we go. Miles and Sam. Listen, here's the deal. This is Miles with the little green shirt poking out. We got Sam next to him and my sister Sasha. Sasha, have you explained to them how to play Dino or Not a Dino?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Here's how this is going to work. Miles, Sam, Sasha, I am going to read you the name of 10 different animals. Okay? Some of these animals are actual real dinosaurs. Some of them are not. I've totally made them up. Your job, with Sasha's help, as well as you can look around the Zoom room, because all of our very smart dino scientists might help you out with saying, yes, thumbs up, it is, or no, it's definitely not. Your job is simply tell us if it's a dino or if it is not a dino. If you need me to spell it, Sasha, I can help out by doing that. Miles, Sam, are you guys ready to play Dino or Not a Dino?
Yes.
All right, let's dig in. Animal number one, LLALLAWAVIS. That's right, LLALLAWAVIS.
LLALLAWAVIS is big. It is so funny.
It is a funny name, but I'm going to go to Miles for the final determination. Miles, is LLALLAWAVIS a dinosaur or not a dinosaur? I don't really see much help in the gallery. I don't see people giving you thumbs up or thumbs down right now. A lot of people don't really know, I think. This is a tough one.
A lot of people are giving thumbs down, so I'm going with them.
So, Miles, dino or not a dino?
Not a dino.
Not a dino. Unfortunately, LLALLAWAVIS is a dinosaur. That is okay. You've got the first one wrong. Going next. Here we go. Caracalyx. Caracalyx.
That's a funny word, too.
That is a funny one, Sam. Caracalyx. Megan seems to have a thumb up. I don't see anyone else with any opinions right now. Very unopinionated squad this morning, which is fine. That's up to you guys. Provinoraptor's got a thumbs up. Caracalyx. Miles, what do you think? Caracalyx, dino or not a dino? Your brother seems to think it is not a dino.
I don't know, because I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up and a lot of thumbs down.
Yeah, you got to choose. It's a tough one. Maybe
I'll just go with thumbs up.
What did Sam? What did you say? Sam's saying no. Miles is saying yes. Unfortunately, that is not a dinosaur. Caracalyx is not a dinosaur. So, Miles, what I also want to let you know is there is a theme for the name of the not dinosaurs, right? So the only one that's not been a dinosaur thus far is Caracalyx. Caracalyx. Next one. Is this a dino? GASTORNIS. 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 Michael's got a thumbs up. Michael's giving you a thumbs up for GASTORNIS. Martin's giving you a thumbs up. Megan's giving you a thumbs up. Miles, what do you think? I need an answer. GASTORNIS.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. That is correct. GASTORNIS is a dinosaur. You got one. You're one wrong. I'm sorry, one right, two wrong. Here we go. Protocelot. 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 Sam doesn't think so.
All the thumbs down?
Lots of thumbs down. What do you think? Protocelot.
Not. Okay, I'll go with thumbs down because I'm seeing a lot.
Thumbs down. That is correct. Protocelot is not a dinosaur. Your two not dinosaurs thus far are Caracalyx and Protocelot. See if we can figure out what the theme of our not dinos is. Next one, Kelenken. Ooh, Martin, emphatic. 2 thumbs up from Martin for Kelenken. Anyone else got a thumb? Sam's got a thumbs up. Kelenken. Catherine's got a thumbs up too. Sam.
Everybody got a thumbs up.
So you're going dino or not a dino? Dino? Nice. Nailed it. You got that one. You are now 3 right, 2 wrong. You're back in the green. You're halfway there. Next. Jaguarnis. Jaguarnis.
No.
Jaguarnis.
No.
No? All right. You're right again. You're 4 right, 2 wrong. Next. Prokaryama. Prokaryama. That's a tough one. I made these hard for you. Prokaryama. Thumbs up? You're going up? Yeah? All right. That is also correct. Wow. Crusher, that is an actual dinosaur. You got 6 right now, 2 wrong. Wait, I think I lost track because there's 3 more. That math doesn't add up. That's all right. Next one. Cheetopteryx. Cheetopteryx. No? All right. Wow, you guys, you're getting much better. Have you been able to figure out the theme of the not dinos, such as Caracalyx, Protocelot, Jaguarnis, Cheetopteryx? Can you figure out what the theme of the not dinosaurs is yet?
It has an S at the end. What? I've been hearing a lot of S's at the end.
That is true. That is true. All right, we got 2 more. I'll give you a hint. One of the next, you got 2 more. One is a dinosaur, one is not a dinosaur. Here we go. Silopterus. Silopterus. Yeah, a confident thumbs up for Miles. You're going yes? All right, that is correct. Silopterus, you are right. You've only missed 2. Great comeback. You've got 7 right. You've already won. This is the last one, though. This is the one that could win it, well, in our brains and hearts and minds forever. Here we go. Archaeoleopardnychus. Archaeoleopardnychus.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
There seems to be a word. Do you recognize a word in the middle? Archaeoleopardnychus. Do you recognize a word in the middle there, Miles? Leopard. Archaeoleopardnychus. Is it a dino or not a dinosaur, though? You are correct. It's not a dinosaur. You've got an 8 out of 10. That is 80%. That is a B-. In most households, that is great, or many. But I know your sister has a very high bar. My sister, your mom, that is her upside down. You're going to need to bump those numbers up to 10 out of 10 before, I don't know, before she lets you eat lunch. But you did really well. Obviously, you got 8 out of 10. Do you want to hear what the not dinos were again so you can try to figure out the theme? I know some of our friends in the Zoom room know the theme at this point.
I can't figure out the theme.
All right, the first one, Caracalyx. Next, Protocelot, Jaguarnis, Cheetopteryx, and Archaeoleopardnychus. These are they all have cat names in them. Like Caracalyx. Caracal and lynx are actually 2 different cats.
Lynx.
Right?
And I heard 2 leopards in one.
Jaguarnis is one. Protocelot, ocelots are one. Cheetopteryx, cheetah. And then last, Archaeoleopardnychus. All of the not dinos are big cats, but all of the actual dinos, LLALLAWAVIS, GASTORNIS, KELENKEN, Prokaryama, and Silopterus. Guess what, Miles? Those are all terror birds, which is our special theme of the day. You guys ready to learn about terror birds?
Yes.
Woo!
Awesome. Thank you for playing. Maybe you should have a little talk with your mom about how she should figure out how her computer works. All right, we're going to go into...
Sorry.
Okay. I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Miles, show us your shirt one more time. Show us your shirt. Oh, yeah. That's a good T-Rex sweater. All right, guys. We're going to get into our Phorusrhacos? Phorusrhacos? Is that how we're saying it? All right, I'm going back to
Phorusrhacids.
Oh, wow. Look at you with the perfect pronunciation. Okay. Wow, you don't have to show off about it, Miles. All right, back to Phorusrhacos. Here we go. Terror birds. We already talked about, let's see, they're from 62 million years to about 12,000 years ago. Anywhere from 3 feet to 10 feet tall. We know they're fast runners. They might have hunted small stuff. They might have hunted big stuff. There were about 25 different species, so 25 different types of terror birds. Today, we're only going to talk about 4. We think they actually originated in South America. Since then, they spread off into different parts of Asia, possibly Europe, definitely North America as well. We actually think they may have started to go extinct, at least in South America, around 3 million, 2.5 million years ago, because big cats, bears, and dogs from North America started to come down into South America, and that's a lot of competition as a carnivore. So that's probably why we don't see them too recently in South America and more recently in North America. So we're going to go through 4, starting with the smallest, moving on to the biggest. So this is our first one. Like we already mentioned, LLALLAWAVIS is definitely a dino. It is definitely a terror bird. Remember, these are birds. This is a type of bird. Birds are dinosaurs. So all these terror birds are a type of dinosaur. This is LLALLAWAVIS. It lived about 3.5 million years ago. The cool thing about this one, other than it being kind of small for like a size scale, it's about 4 feet tall. But the coolest thing about LLALLAWAVIS, it is by far the most complete terror bird fossil we have found. Like incredibly complete skull that preserved even like the trachea, the voice box, and the little eyes, or little bones around the eyes. So this is a really cool find because it told us a ton about like the exact anatomy of this terror bird, at least. Most of the time when you find a dinosaur, especially like a large one, it's incredibly rare to find anything close to a complete specimen. Finding maybe a couple of vertebrae, part of a leg, a few teeth, maybe part of a skull. This one was almost entirely complete. So it took very little guesswork into putting together, well, a mock-up like this to figure out what it probably looked like as it was stomping around in South America 3.5 million years ago. That is LLALLAWAVIS. Moving on to a slightly bigger one. Oh, this is what its face looked like too. Very scary, pretty terrifying. I don't want to encounter these. I'm glad they are extinct. Oh yeah, first size. You can see it's almost as big as a person. Be kind of a cool pet if it didn't kill and eat you. So that's LLALLAWAVIS. Moving on to a slightly bigger one and just as scary. Look at this thing. Can you imagine seeing a GASTORNIS in the woods? No, thank you. Especially because they were even bigger. These guys are about 6.5 feet tall. They lived a much longer time ago, around 50 million years ago. And here's a couple interpretations. I like that we can see kind of what different paleontologists envision them to look like. Not only with the color, but with kind of like the shape, as well as you can see the beak and the head appear to be slightly different. And I like that because we get to see what different scientists interpret the materials that we have, the scant evidence from the fossil record, to put together a mock-up of what these 6.5 feet tall crazy terror birds may have looked like. So that is GASTORNIS. We're going to move on next to the one, the only Phorusrhacos, for which is our dino of the day. This is Phorusrhacos. I love this one because you can kind of see 2 different interpretations, one running, one standing. How cute are those ridiculous little wings on this side, right? Clearly not flying with those. In fact, it makes me wonder what they could have been used for, if anything, or if they were simply a vestigial feature, which means a feature that's left over from a prior animal that has evolved. Maybe those were bigger earlier, had a different feature. I can't really see how they were used much by this guy other than to look ridiculous. So that's Phorusrhacos. Other stuff we haven't said about them. They're a little bit more, a little younger. Remember, GASTORNIS is like 50 million years ago. Phorusrhacos is about 20 to 13, so like 15 million years ago. Obviously still a long time ago, but much more recent than these other ones. Now, when I say these guys are tall, I mean it. So obviously, you can see from this image that they look pretty scary. You can see from this image how big this thing is. Like, look at the size of its head compared to its body. This is an animal that was 8 feet tall and had a 2 foot long skull. Now, when you say 2 foot long, all right, that doesn't sound very big. Look at the size of the skull that this man is holding. This is an enormous skull for a bird that big. And secondly, look at that beak tip. Look at that hooked, crazy beak tip. And now you might be able to understand when we say that there's a distinct possibility they hunted by jamming that beak tip into the skull through the brain case of very poor, unsuspecting prey under it. And then grabbing and ripping it apart. Very scary, enormous. It's much like the end of an eagle's beak and some other modern birds, but obviously way bigger, and they're obviously not flying. I wanted to show you this interpretation too, this image, because the reason why Phorusrhacos, the whole group is named Phorusrhacids, is mostly because this is probably the first one that we knew a lot about. So this drawing is from, I think it was like 1898, around the turn of last century. So this is one of the first terror bird drawings, and this is by, if you remember our paleo art episode, this is by Charles Knight. So pretty much the founder of paleo art. You can see this guy holding down what looks like, I don't know, like a sheep type of mammal situation thing, deer, I'm not sure exactly what. But this is one of the first paleo art renderings of a terror bird over about 120 years ago. This is one of the first ones we've known of, and that's why the whole group is named after him. So this is Phorusrhacos, and the group is named the Phorusrhacids. It sounds like a cool band name, the Phorusrhacids. Forest Rock Kids. All right, cool. All right, that is our third of four. So we have to, obviously, because we go for the biggest and the baddest whenever possible. Moving on to our last terror bird of the day, Kelenken. Remember, this was, Martin definitely knew this was a dino. Michael knew this was a dino too. Kelenken, we have recently found much better evidence and pieces of their body to pretty much cement Kelenken, as far as we know, as the largest terror bird. So slightly bigger even than Phorusrhacos and slightly different shaped. So let me make sure. Oh, by the way, I love this one for scale. I don't know. This is why Wikipedia needs to hit me up as a scale model, because otherwise you get these guys with like acid wash jeans and weird flannels. It's fine. It's fine. You may notice that little bird between the Kelenken and our friend there. That is a Serema. That is a Serema, the closest living relative of the terror birds, which is, you know, almost as tall as someone's waist, but pretty tiny. Let me see if I can find the one image I wanted to show you. This one. So this is on the right, a Kelenken, and on the left, Phorusrhacos. So you can see that Kelenken appears to be slightly bigger, and you can also tell that the shape and the size of the skull is very different. Whereas with the Phorusrhacid, it's a much like blunter, shorter, taller, probably more powerful skull for biting. Whereas with the longer, skinnier Kelenken, that thing may be used for grabbing and pulling more, but you can see it's a much longer, skinnier skull. Obviously a slightly bigger animal too, neither of which I want to encounter at any point. But speaking of cool paleo art, because obviously this is a pretty cool paleo art rendering of Kelenken, probably the coolest paleo art image I have found in all of our time doing this is this next version of Kelenken, because I love anatomical studies. This dude has been hitting the gym. He is swole. Look at the musculature on this guy. I love this because you don't see this often. You don't often see like muscular studies on dinos. And this is something that we have to do if we're going to draw it and sketch it out kind of like this. You know, you have to figure out where the muscle attachments are, how those muscles may have moved, how they articulated with one another. And that actually tells you a lot about not only the shape of the animal, but how it would look and how it would actually move. So until you really start to think about what the musculature looks like, it's really hard to put skin, scales, or feathers on top of that. And you may now be wondering, wait a minute, how could we possibly know what muscles look like on dinos? Well, there's actually, in really well-preserved fossils, you can actually see muscle attachment scars. And those are the spots where muscles attach tendons to the bone. And you can see a scar, or at least an impression or some sort of indication that that's where the muscle's attached. And that's also how we know, we talk about this a lot, that theropods, three-toed, primarily carnivorous dinosaurs, like the terror birds, were actually clappers, not slappers. The way the muscles actually attach gives us a lot of clues as to them being like this. That and the fact that we have actually not, I guess they're not fossil impressions, or they're not foot impressions, they're like body impressions of a theropod who was like this and then sat down on the ground. And you can see the shape and the angle of the arm in that impression. And that tells us a lot about not like this, but being like this. All right, Christina is back. I was doing that relatively rapid fire because of technical difficulties earlier. Christina, on a scale of 1 to 1,000, I'm at about 1 million as far as being happy that you're back. Is everything okay work-wise?
Yeah, everything's okay. I just had to be a teacher and a dino co-host at the same time. I'm back.
You're a tremendous multitasker, and we appreciate you for it. Did you see any of Miles and Sam starting off very poorly, but then getting very good at the Dino or Not a Dino?
Oh, how did it turn out?
You know what? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna specially run back just the not dinos for you. I'm just gonna read off the not dinos, and you're gonna try to figure out. You're gonna try to figure out if you know just the theme. So all of you guys in the room, don't help her out because you are cheating. If so, because we already know. Here are 5 not dinos. Christina, hit us with the theme. 1, Caracalyx. 2, Protocelot. 3, Jaguarnis. 4, Chetopteryx. 5, Archaeoleparnychus.
Those are kitties.
Those are all species of big wild
cats.
cats. Good job. All right, we got questions for the audience about terror birds. Let's nerd out about this incredibly scary group of animals.
Cool. Kanan asked, I see terror birds are from South America, but do they have any counterparts in other parts of the world? Or was it a largely mammalian reign? What a term. I love that.
Largely mammalian reign. So the majority of terror birds were found in South America, but we have found more now in North America as well as some in China. And there is debate about whether we found them in Europe. I might be wrong about those continents, but I think based on my research last night, that is correct. So primarily South American. And I mentioned this earlier. We think they went extinct faster in South America because large carnivores like cats, dogs, and bear species started moving down from North America into South America. And that's a lot of competition for big carnivores. Good question.
Mammalian reign. Okay.
Mammalian reign. That was sang by Prince, right? Prince sang Mammalian Reign.
Yes. Prince.
I think he just said mammal rain though. Mammal rain. Mammal rain. Yeah. Okay. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. The artist formerly known as. I was trying to come up with an evolution.
Quick shout out to my mom, who I believe is in the chat. She doesn't go by Mom or Sharon anymore. She goes by Afkam, AFKAM, which is the artist formerly known as Mom.
Shout out to artist formerly known as Mom. Sequani Dana, full name, says there were illustrations of the wings just being feathered or having scaled fingers with claws. Has there been evidence for both or just one?
Hold on one sec. Sorry. Why don't I not see you, Christian? Anyway, there you are. Say that one more time.
There were illustrations of the wings just being feathered or having scaled fingers with claws. Has there been evidence for both or just one?
I'm not sure. I did a fair amount of research on terror birds last night, and there wasn't much about claws or feathers. Actually, it was mostly about feet and their size and their skulls and hunting capabilities. There have been some. Well, originally they found, where was this? Somewhere in North America. I forget exactly where. What they assumed to be a feather, but it turned out it was a plant fiber. But there's been a recent find of a feather that looks, well, like you'd imagine a feather look like in association with one of these fossils. So especially because they're called terror birds and they look like, well, birds, I would imagine they had feathers, but we don't have definitive evidence quite yet. So we'll see. This is actually a group, I should mention, like, this is a group of animals I don't know a ton about. I just knew about KELENKEN and PHORUSRHACOS. And so literally all the stuff I'm telling you is info I learned last night. So that's actually a good point. Like, you guys, I can't be an expert in every type of dinosaur. You can't be an expert in anything. And that's one of the reasons I love doing this, is because every day I get a chance to take a couple hours and research and learn more cool stuff about this incredible world around us. With your help. What's next, Christina?
Martin wants to know, do you think ancient humans stole eggs and had to fend them off?
They stole eggs? Oh, ancient humans stole the terror bird eggs.
I assume that's what the question means. I just read it as sent to me.
I mean, maybe. I would imagine there are animals that are less dangerous to try to steal your eggs from or get food from. But it's possible. It's possible. I don't know. So are we the original oviraptors?
Oh.
Are we the oviraptors of the terror bird world stealing their eggs? I don't know. Oh, by the way, we have found some egg remains. So their eggs, at least for some of the larger terror birds, their eggs aren't quite as enormous as you would imagine. They're actually about half the size of an ostrich egg. So they weren't like huge eggs. If you want a huge bird that is flightless and has a huge egg, The elephant bird, which is technically not a terror bird, is slightly taller than the biggest terror bird, and their eggs are like just bonkers.
I had a couple people mention both of the birds that are part of this question. Sissy asked, were dodo birds considered terror birds? Also, this kind of reminds me of the shoebill stork.
Oh yeah, so dodo birds are not. I'm not sure exactly the group they're in. They're very closely related. They're not technically. And yeah, that shoebill stork. You guys in the chat, if you haven't looked up or seen a video of a shoebill stork, it is impressively terrifying, and they are alive today. Also, another thing that looks a lot like these but isn't is the moa. So the moa is a giant flightless bird that lived in New Zealand, and I bet you guys would love to go see one. But you can't because they're extinct. There are no moa. Anyone?
Next question.
Anyone? No one likes that one. I like that one a lot.
I have to. I love it.
Okay, go ahead.
Martin, I love the wording of this question. Let's savor it. What's up with those long, thick hip bones? And what does that tell us about their gait and stance?
This long, thick. I'm going to bring up a picture just to look at those long.
Please do.
Interesting. We're not talking about neck meat. We're into long, thick leg bones.
Long, thick hip bones.
Hip bones. They are long and thick. So based on the size of those hips and the size of like the thigh and the upper leg and the proportions of the upper leg to the lower leg, that is what gives us clues as to how fast they would have or could have ran. And so that bigger leg is simply more power, faster turnover as they are running. And so, yeah, those big long legs with those proportions and those big thick hips probably allowed this thing to run, like I mentioned earlier, up to 30 miles per hour for some of the species. So yeah, that'd be my first guess. Moving, running, covering ground, catching prey. I mean, it's no neck meat, but we'll take it.
I'm here for some thick hip meat as well.
Yo, we may talk about thick neck meat and thick hip meat tonight. And then again, reminder guys, adults only, 9 p.m. Same Zoom room. We're talking about dinos, making more dinos. I believe, let me do a quick sidebar. I want to go to Miles. Miles, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, did you have a question? You had your hand up.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So do any of the terror birds fly, or do all of them not fly?
It's a really great question. Terror birds do not fly. These are all flightless birds. They're part of a group of giant flightless birds that I don't know what's going on behind you. But yeah, they could not fly. That's one of the, we call it a diagnostic, well, I guess it's not a physical feature. But yeah, they could not fly.
Okay.
Question. Christina, let's do a couple more questions.
Okay, so this one comes from Philip, who asked, how many calories do you think are inside a terror bird egg? So I'm trying to do the math. A chicken egg, according to the internet, is 78 calories. About how many chickens big is a terror bird?
Which terror bird are we talking though, right? They came in all different shapes and sizes. And like I mentioned, the biggest egg is about half the size of a ostrich egg. So I don't know, I don't know how many.
So the dino or the not dino of the day. Let's use that one as an example to calculate about how many chickens big it is and how many chicken eggs calorically dense.
If it's Phorusrhacos and it's laying an egg that's probably like yay big, I would say probably, I don't know, between a baseball and a softball. And I would see that's probably, baseball's probably like, I don't know what, 4 eggs worth, 5 eggs worth. I don't know, maybe like compared to a chicken, maybe like about 10 times bigger, maybe 8 times bigger. I don't know. This is a very rough estimate.
Great. So we'll say about 750 calories in a terror bird egg as a back of the envelope estimate.
That's it. I would guess it'd be higher.
That's on the low end.
Okay, but enough to make an omelet for your whole family.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. We got any more?
Dusty?
You're getting a question.
We're getting a question from our special guest again? Okay.
Yeah.
Special guest, Miles. Miles, because you share 25% of my genes, what is your question? And then I have one last question for you. But what is your question?
I don't have a question, but I saw somebody's saying that somebody's raising their hand.
A lot of people are raising their hands. I have a question for you, Miles. Now, listen, you did really well on Dino or Not a Dino, and all of our friends here in the chat room have very strong opinions about something, so I want to know your opinion on this. If your mom is making you breakfast, would you prefer pancakes or waffles? This is a question for Miles first. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Pancakes. Sasha, you going the same way? Yes, team. You know what? Like I said, there's a reason why I'm the favorite child, because I chose correctly for waffles. That's okay. I still love you guys very much. All right, Christina, let's do one last question before we move on to our final orders of business.
I don't have any more questions, but just some shout outs and statements. Megan says to visit the Cincinnati Zoo to see a shoebill stork.
There you go.
Those are some crazy critters. I'd be a little bit afraid to meet one in real life. And Jada did some calculations and said an ostrich egg is 20 times the weight of a chicken egg. Those dudes were half of an ostrich egg, so calculated 780 calories in an estimated terror bird egg.
Okay, so I was kind of right it's about 10 times the size of a chicken egg. Is that about right?
Yeah, just about. Oh, and I have a question from the one and only Sharon Growick.
Oh, please.
How many terror birds does it take to cross the street?
I don't know, Mom. How many terror birds does it take to cross the street?
No, I'm drinking coffee.
Does she have an answer, or is that just a legit question?
There's no answer posed here. So
wow. I don't know how it's possible that I got literally all of the comedic genes in our family. Mom, if you're gonna set up a joke, you gotta end it somehow. Jeez. Oh well. I like that the one day where like my entire extended family is here is obviously the dysfunction of trying to make this work is perfectly indicative of the communicative dysfunction within our own family.
Oh,
I love you guys.
We got an answer. She says, I don't know, just run.
That is fair. All right. We're going to start wrapping things up. Do we have any last thoughts or questions, Christina? I feel like today was all over the place. This is one of the most loose, weird ones we've done. Michael, is that a hand? Michael, you're always helpful. You got a question? What's up, man?
You put Gastornis in the list of terror birds. Is Gastornis technically part of the Phorusrhacos family? Because they said that now Gastornis is believed to be a plant eater. It didn't quite have the jaw muscles, and it didn't have that little sharp beak at the end.
Let me open up the picture of Gastornis again so we know what you're talking about. According to Wikipedia, my very, very rudimentary research last night, where is Gastornis? There it is. Yeah, you can see that beak is very different. It was grouped within terror birds, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe more.
Michael mentioned it might have been an herbivore.
Yeah, but maybe. No, I don't know. It's a good point.
That's the word I've been hearing lately, is that their study of its jaw muscles and maybe its droppings that they might have found is indicating that it wasn't the meat eater that was indicated in the walking with beasts, walking with dinosaurs special.
But like,
because it was eating horses there, and
right,
now they're saying it probably couldn't do that.
Well, that makes sense, but does that not make it a terror bird? Just because it's eating a slightly different thing, it's still like part of the same family, right?
I mean, what do you consider a terror bird? Does it have to be in the family Phorusrhacos, or can it just be a giant flightless bird?
We got to do a whole taxonomy day, like how these decisions are made and where what is put, and is it based on genetic evidence or what? TBD for now. But no.
Speaking of where what is put, grown-ups join us tonight at 9:00.
What? Say it again. What? Who?
So speaking of where what is put.
Wow.
Grown-ups join us.
That is a professional segue. I love that.
Great transition.
Yes. Tonight, 9 p.m., same Zoom code. Grab a drink, put on the silk sheets. We're going to talk about how dinosaurs make more dinosaurs. It's going to be weird and great. What else? Oh, we got to do our drawings. We got to see these drawings as we go through.
Hey, Dustin, I got a couple of questions. Will you take these while we get the drawings set up?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Thank you, Megan. That looks great.
Is there any evidence that terror birds would have had bald heads? Jonathan heard, that it may have helped thermoregulation in dinosaurs.
Hard to know. They probably had some feathers, but if you think about birds today, some birds have more more feathers on their heads than others. I'm not sure. It's a really good question. And I bet different species of terror birds have different amount of feathers in different places. hard to know, but I love the way you're thinking about the integumentation, which is basically the soft parts of an animal that don't easily fossilize. Martin, in addition to
Look at
obviously
that.
knowing so much about dinosaurs, you are late entry for one of our best, if not the best, paleo artists here. I love it. That looks great.
Up to you.
Let's do it. Let's see. We got Agus. Ooh, I like that's coming straight at you. Kind of a front view. I see the little hook on the front of the beak.
It looks
there.
like
That's so good.
like he's walking away from an explosion in an action movie.
There's a big explosion. Here's another one coming at you. I like this one. Well done. Ooh, here's one from Jonathan. Phorusrhacos, bald like an ostrich, and a condor chest and shoe bill coloring. I like that you've laid it. It's pretty good.
Beautiful.
Oh, these are so cute. I feel
Look
like
at those legs.
I feel like Denise and Jada should do like a mashup together because they have similar, like kind of bulbousy, cartoony drawing styles that look so great. I love it. Those are good. Judith, with all the information you could possibly want about these guys, I feel like your notes, like that looks so much better than like my just scribbles. You're crushing the game right now. Love it, Judith. Let's see, what's Amy got? Phoebe, the Phorusrhacos. All right, and taking off the entire top of that Lego man's head. I like that. I like that one a lot. Speaking of hunting, look at Preventoraptors.
Ooh.
It looks like it has an entire other terror bird in its mouth.
Yeah, for scale.
Yeah. Christina, how do we feel about Lenosaurus rexes?
Oh, that's a friendly one. That's a friendly one. Get some human friends for scale, but you can't sleep on a terror bird just because it looks nice right now. It's got secrets.
Oh, look at it, Sam and Miles down the
Oh, it is.
Oh, that's really cute. I like that you put all right, we got a couple more. Oh, Melinda. Look at this. Carrie. Ooh,
Carrie.
Blood dripping. Yeah, I like that. I like
High
that.
school prom.
Look at these two.
Okay.
That's when we got Perry and Phorusrhacos. These are good too. You guys, these drawings are so good.
These legs make me want to have them like a kick line,
Ooh, look at
like
this
the
one.
Radio City
Oh, for
Rockets dinos.
That's exactly what it should be. This one looks great. M, I like M is, again, taking a page out of Agus's book. Oop, I just tried to make you a co-host, not what I'm trying to do. Doing the Post-it notes. Also, what is behind you?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my
What is
honey.
happening, M?
Are you okay? Do you need help?
Let's look at Natty's here. Last couple ones. Natty, push that up. Natty, come close to the screen. I like the blue color on this one. I think we got like last couple here. We got Alicia's. Ooh, I like that. We got a digital and a regular drawing. Those are beautiful. Oh, wow. Wow, these are great. All right, you guys, thank you so much for sharing all those. We're coming to an end here. I want to remind you guys, we do this literally every day. If you want to support this endeavor, throw us a couple bones at Dustin-Growick on Venmo. If you're on PayPal, it is dgrowick@gmail.com is my email address. So again, tonight, 8 p.m., adults only version. We'll be right back here.
Dustin.
9 p.m. Thank you, Christina.
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern, which is a different time in different parts of the world. We'll be right here talking about how dinosaurs literally came together to make more dinosaurs. And then tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, noon. Wow, I can't believe we're going to do it tonight and then again in the morning. We're going to do a little bit of a dinosaur roast, right? We're going to roast. We're going to have some of our special Dino 101 All-Stars just lay into and roast their, I guess, their favorite, least favorite dinosaurs. Which should be pretty fun because we talk all day, every day about how much we love dinos. But sometimes, you got to roast the ones that make you just go, eh? So that should be pretty fun. I highly doubt we won't also roast me in some capacity. I'm pretty sure that'll probably happen as well. So that is tomorrow at noon. We're going to do dinosaur roast. We're going to talk about our favorite, ugliest, weirdest dinosaurs and roast them with lots of love. So that is tomorrow at tomorrow at noon. Wow. But again, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, dinos getting together to make more dinos. Christina, do you have any last parting words before we go eat lunch?
Ooh, you know what, Quarantine? You make my day every day. Just a sincere thought.
Here, give a heart.
And thank you, Miles and Sam, for joining us, and Sasha for trying to figure out how computers work. Christina, thank you for being on the ones and twos today. You guys, I don't care if you're running really fast to find a cave to get into to hide from a terror bird, or simply, you know, just flipping through the manual for your Macintosh computer to figure out how the audio works for Zoom. Never stop digging. I love all of you guys. I love dinosaurs. I'll see you adults at 9 p.m. tonight and the rest of you guys tomorrow at noon. Let's go. It's Friday. Woo!
Bye.
We do